Welcome to Let's Bet, the show for folks who love betting on sports but hate losing money. I'm going to show you how to increase your sports betting bankroll by gaining confidence so that ultimately you can have the lifestyle that you deserve. I'm your host, Scott Pritchard, full-time professional sports bettor, 31 years, founder of Pritchard'sPicks.com, home of Pritchard's Pick of the Day, took third place in the Circa Invitational last year. What I can do, my guest can do better. He took second place. Are you kidding me? Both of us were invited back to compete again this year. You can catch me each and every weekend in the Las Vegas Review Journal. We broadcast live and worldwide each and every Friday from 1 to 1:30 Las Vegas time on demand on Pritchard'sPicks.com and on your favorite podcast and video distribution platforms. To reach out to us, email us at letsbet@Pritchard'sPicks.com. That's letsbet@Pritchard'sPicks.com. Right before we get started, I do have a coupon code, 20% off all picks, all packages. It's applicable throughout the weekend. Stay tuned for that. But first things first, my guest, 5-star, rock star, superstar, champion, winner of the Circa Millions in 2021. He net won $1 million to make it holla and outpicked thousands of contestants. Please welcome my friend, mentor, colleague, all-around great guy, Tony Gordon. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me, buddy.
How's life treating you?
Life's treating me great, man. You know, I'm here with the family. Got my son here for a baseball tournament here in Vegas. So we'll go enjoy some ball at the field and maybe get a little action in on the side here too.
I love it because I know your son is a 5-star baseball pitcher as a teenager. So how's it going so far?
Oh, super proud of him, man. Super proud. He's 16 years old. I call it shoving because that's what we call it these days as a pitcher. He shoves about 80 miles an hour. He sits in the low 80s and got up to 85 here the other day for his personal record. And if you know anything about pitching at 16 years old, 85 miles an hour is quite a top. So I think he's got a future. And not only that, he's a scholar. So 4.2 grade point average, and I think his goals are pretty set in his head. And I think that I'm just here to give him the tools to get there, right? So I
love it. I think that's great. You know, I track him and his progress through you as a proud parent. And my question is, where does he get his athleticism from? From you or his mom?
So I was an athlete, baseball, football. I played all through high school, and I didn't play any college, but I was an athlete in high school. Just didn't have the brain to go to college right after. So, but my wife, on the other hand, also volleyball player, swimmer. So there's a little athletic genes I think that he got. You know, what makes him the athlete that he is, to be honest with you, is his intelligence. He's probably one of the brightest kids that I know, and it really shows in any athletic thing he does. So, yeah.
Well, you're blessed, my man, because I've met your wife. She's beautiful, but I'm also telling you she's very, very sharp, very, very bright. So, again, I have to tell you something I just told a guest a few short weeks ago. Respectfully, I think you outkicked the coverage team.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. And that's nice to hear, man. Thank you.
I mean that with all due respect. But let's talk about what it takes to win the Circa Millions, okay? I say this because this is the first year I've entered the Circa Millions. I've had a lot of success in sports handicapping contests, but not doing too well in the Circa Millions. It's 5 games per week to let our viewers know. You're doing the point spread in pro football only, and you are, this year as an example, 5,800 plus contestants going head to head for a net win of $1 million plus. Well, my guest Tony took first place in 2021. What kind of an emotional ride, roller coaster was that like from, say, week 1 to week 18 and everything in between?
So, you know, you start out week 1, it's just it's a marathon. So, you know, you really just got to pace yourself. So I didn't get really too high, too low, anywhere in between, you know, the weeks probably 1 through 10. I'm really just trying to put myself in a position. And you know, this is some advice I give everybody is, you know, if you can use your skill to put yourself in a position to let luck take over, because it does require luck to get to where you are and get to the top in this contest. There's just too many contestants. There's just too many variables. And, you know, you're going to find these hot contestants that are gonna be on the fly and they're gonna run up the board. And if you're not just pacing yourself the entire time, then you won't be there as well. So that's a big important thing for me is it was pacing myself. So
what specifically was your mindset and or your process week in, week out? Are you looking for a little bit of the best of it? Because I know they post the numbers a day or two before the deadline. Are you looking at that? Are you being counterintuitive? Are you trying to outthink the opposition? What kind of game plan or gamemanship comes into play?
So in the contest play, obviously we can find a stale line on Saturday when we get our plays in. That was set on Wednesday. When I go into the week, I actually try to look and try to find and see what the top consensus plays are going to be. And by saying that is I'd like to see who's going to be picked the most and what direction I want to go in with that. Is that somebody that I want to hop on board with because I feel like that's a strong selection and I want to ride with the field? Or is that a selection that I might want to stay off of and see if the field's going to crash and burn? Or do I want to absolutely fade it and try to build some steam up and catch up? Now that all depends on where you are, I think, in contest play and where you're standing. If you're in the middle towards the bottom, you got some catching up to do. So, maybe fading is the way to go, that way, if you do hit and they don't, you're tracking up some ground. If you're at the very top, like I was in week 14, 15, and 16, I rode with the pack. I knew what they were going, so I had to take it because they're chasing me. I'm not chasing them. So that's an important strategy when you're looking at is where you are and what week you are in the contest and where you're sitting. So.
How many entries did you have? And then tell me about the last week, because I know with thousands of people competing and only 5 games per week, ultimately it's going to come down to the last week, the last game, the last play. So tell me about that if you can recall.
Yeah, week 18, I was very fortunate. I had 2 entries going into week 18. One was sitting in second place, the other sitting in fourth place. A half point behind the first place leader with my second place entry. So I went in that week going, look, I have to have a good week. He has to probably have a bad week for me to crash and burn. For me to get over the top of him. So what I did is I put my best 5 plays I had in my first card, my number 2 card, in second place. And in my number 4 card, I faded it. And by doing that, I guaranteed myself a top 4 finish, which was about a $300,000 payday. So at week 18, I sat down at the Circa Sportsbook and enjoyed the games, knowing that I was going to get a 6-figure payday no matter how the day ended. Fortunately, I had a very, very good 3-2 number 2 card that jumped the number 1 card and gave me that $1 million payday. So.
Going into the last week, I think you were down a half game, so you did leapfrog. But to your point, this is interesting. People might think, hey, you had to be sweating, right? But in essence, because you had hedged your position, you were covered every which way.
You got it. You got it. And I had a smile on my face from ear to ear. Putting yourself in a position just to place in these contests is very, very difficult. We're in 5,500 people, pays to 100. You have to be in the top, 1%, right? To get paid, and 2%. So if you've really got to put yourself in a position to get paid, and listen. If you're not following some of this strategy and running with some of this, then you're going to find yourself at the bottom and probably chasing that booby prize, and there's only one booby prize and it's only going to go to one person. So, I would never suggest chasing that booby prize, but if you are at the bottom, hey, if you're chasing money, that's the way you got to go. So.
Looking back, per your strategy, week in, week out, did you tend to take the points, take the dogs, lay the points, lay the favorite?
I am more of a dog player. That seems to be the first thing I kind of go in the eye at when I check out on board. I look at the board and try to find the strongest dogs and see if it's something I want to go for. But early on in contest play, I was primarily a dog player, and year after year, dog after dog, maybe would play 2 or 3 favorites in a season. And I realized it wasn't getting me anywhere. I wasn't getting above that 60% hump that I needed to get at to place. And so I started falling in and looking to more favorites and trying to find better opportunities. So about 5 years ago is when I kind of pivoted and started looking more towards favorites as well as dogs. And it put me in a position to start running and placing. 2018, I was in super contests. I tied for 12th. 2019 Super Contest, I tied for 9th. And then 2021 Millions won. So that 4-year span was really, really good for me.
How did you initially get started in sports betting and/or sports betting contests, Tony?
Yeah, Scott. So let's go back to the late 90s, actually, in my early 20s. A good friend of mine said, "Hey, you can get down online at a website called caribsports.com." So I hop on, I get on it. Lovely, great site, man, and hop on, do some recreational wagering. And 22, really wasn't too into sports betting at the time, just recreationally. And, big bulletin on the board says Carib Invitational. Okay, Carib, what's Carib Invitational? Let me take it out. Let me look at it. So what it was a contest that mimicked the Super Contest. So, 5 points, 5 games against the spread, 1 point for a win, half for a push, 0 for a loss. So 2001, this was, I ran the board and actually won it for $25,000. So that was my initial run into sports betting. And so I recreational did it a little bit for a few years after, and then got word of mouth of a big contest, which I did not know about at the time, called the Super Contest, here in Vegas. Got over here in 2007 thinking I won it in 2001, 25 grand, come over here in Vegas. No problem. I'll win it here too. Okay. Well, 2007, 2008, 9, 10, let's go all the way to 2018. Okay. It took me 11 years to place. Okay. So I bought 11 $1,500 t-shirts from Westgate before I was able to get paid. So yeah, it was we can look back and see how these starts come from, but then it puts you in the position that you're in today, so it's a fun ride, man, when you look back on it. So.
Most overnight sensations are decades in the making, so I can relate. Yeah. The late, great John Wooden, who won up-teen 10-plus championships with UCLA, it took him 16 years before he won his first. So there's living proof to what you're talking about. Let's talk specifically about your mindset, because I've said you have to have thick skin, short memory, yesterday's game, yesterday's action, history, today's action, a mystery. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. In this profession, if you can't put your wins and your losses behind you, you can't ever get too high or too low. And what the thing is about losses is you always remember them more than the wins, and I think that applies to every sports bettor. But listen, you can't get high and too low. These wins, take them for what they're worth, and then take the losses, put them behind you, go on to the next day. And if you dwell on them, it will just continue to snowball. And I think that that just as well as I do, Scott. We've been in the position probably more times than we like to admit. But we fight back, we come back, and this is a profession's a longevity profession. It's not anything that if you're trying to get rich overnight, sports gambling, good luck to you. Doesn't happen. This is something that like contest play. It's a marathon. Okay, you gotta take it for the long haul, not the short run. So
well done, well said. Tony Gordon, our guest on Let's Bet, the 2021 Circa Millions champion. I mentioned at the outset that he was also one of a select few to be invited for the Circa Invitational last year. Tony took second. I took third. For the most of the year, I was in first, second, or third, and I'm telling you, I'm intrigued by the Mad Russian, Jeff Petch, who was the ultimate winner a year ago. But people that know me and or follow me and or pay me for my picks at pritchardspicks.com know that I'm a big advantage player. If I can get a half point and half the best of it consistently long term, if I have an informational advantage and a competitive number, I will step up and bet. But in the Circa Invitational, you're talking about a 3 to 5 hour window. Respectfully, there aren't any stale numbers, and if they are, it's very, very minute. But I want to talk to my guest because going into the last week, I know that gamemanship, Tony, you do this 24/7, as do I. And I was making my plays thinking, okay, well, I'm going to cash if I take first, second, or third, but I want to leapfrog you and get to first, or you want to leapfrog me and or get to Jeff Petch. But as I was making my picks, I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm playing devil's advocate, if someone's chasing me, this might be a little bit predictable, but Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. I know what works for me. I will not deviate, but I have the utmost respect for you because I want to hear your strategy going into that last week where you ultimately beat me by a half game.
Well, Scott, being that we spent the whole season competing against each other, I kind of knew your play a little bit. Okay. So going into that week, I kind of took a look at the board, kind of gave me a good idea, what direction you were going to go in. And that allowed me to kind of counter with it and, and hop on. And so what you said was I basically blocked you from getting to me, man. So, and when you're playing in these contests, if you're not aware of the situations that you're in to do that, then you shouldn't be playing in these contests. You're never going to get to the top and you're not going to win. So without luck. Right. So, again, that final week going in, I was chasing you the majority of the year. I think, you were up in the top and I was chasing you, and I finally put myself in a position where you had to look up at me. When I got the opportunity to kind of put that block in on you, I think you would have done the same thing to me. So
absolutely. I wouldn't have thought twice about it, and I would make no apology. Yeah. So like I said, man to man, friend to friend, I respected it. I did.
Thank you.
And one thing I want to ask you, the difference in sports betting in everyday real life as opposed to contest betting.
So yeah, listen, the contest betting, we get our lines on Wednesday in the contest, and they're set, or Thursday morning for Circa, Wednesday night for the super contest. And they're set till Saturday. So those lines sit there, they don't move, they don't deviate, and we can play with them and do all we want with them, and they're not changing. Okay. Sports betting, on the other hand, we try to get in early, and I think you're the same thing. We try to get in early in the week and try to find the best of the number, right? We try to find the value. And if we can see ahead and see the future and find value before it hits, then that's where we call ourselves pros. Okay, this is a sharp action comes in when we're catching these numbers early before other people do. And you're great at it, Scott. You're one of the best there is. Okay, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'll look up to you at that. You're one of the best there is at that. So that's kind of where I go at. Sports betting, we want to try to hit these numbers early, get the best of it early. Okay, it gives you time to deviate later on down the road if you want to throw back on it. Okay, maybe maybe you're in the wrong position and you find out you're in the wrong position later on, and you can buy back out of it. Okay, that's an option. 2, you got the best of the line, ride it out. Okay, ride it out. You got the best of it, and when you get the best of it, in the long run, like you said, you're going to end up being ahead. Okay. You get the best of the number in the long run, you're going to be ahead in the long run. Okay. So get the best of the number early, ride it out, contest play. We are set with that number. We just try to find the value with that number by Saturday. Simple it. So
love it. Well said. Yeah. Tony Gordon, our guest, the 2021 Circa Millions winner, net won over $1 million. Man, what a great accomplishment, and a jacket on top of it. Are you kidding me? Do you wear that jacket often? I'd wear it I'd wear it in the shower, man.
Yeah. The funny question is one of the first questions I had is, I hope I can say this on the air, but does your wife wear it without anything on? Right. Okay. So, and she heard the question when it was asked, and I think she got more of a kick out of it than I did. Right. So
that's great.
I got a really, really great wife, and yeah, good sense of humor. But yes, the jacket is very special to me. I know that I can wear it. The people that know what it means and how hard it was to get. And I'm proud of it. Definitely.
Yeah. Those who know. And again, but you're also the same person before you won the million as the person you are today. Very humble, very transparent, very likable, endearing yourself to the audience. So in advance, I want to thank you for being here. I know you're a busy man and you live in California. So for you to be here, it means a lot to me and my viewers.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you for having me, man. Also, I really appreciate that. This is great to talk. So
we're going to take a quick second and talk specifically about the discount code. Some of you tuning in for the discount code Pritch, Pritch. Don't ask me how I came up with it. Pritch is the coupon code. Use that for all picks, all packages now through Monday Night Football. Save not 5, not 10, certainly not 30, but 20% off. I'm giving away the company store. We're talking to Tony Gordon, the 2021 Circa Millions winner, and we're going to come back with best bets, but first, this break.
Hi there, this is Bruce Marin here in Las Vegas with Bruce Marin Public Relations and Bruce Marin Celebrity Speakers and Entertainment, celebrating our 50-year anniversary. I'm offering a 5-star endorsement for my dear treasured friend Scotty Pritchard, and you are watching Let's Bet!
Bruce Marin, President, CEO, founder of Celebrity Speakers Entertainment Bureau, celebrating 50 years. I think he looks great for 50. Are you kidding me? Welcome back to Let's Bet. The coupon code PRITCH for 20% off all picks, all packages. We're talking to Tony Gordon, the 2021 Circa Millions winner. I have to tell you something. You know, we talk about the Circa Survivor. 14,200 people. You get to pick one team per week, no point spread, but you can only pick that team one time. First place, 14 million plus. I entered 10 entries, $10,000 for a baseball cap. I was knocked out after 2 weeks. You hear about my wins, you're going to hear about my losses. But Derek Stevens and the fine folks at Circa, Mike Palm, VP of Operations, I love those folks. They have what they call an empathy package. So to make me and others feel better after getting bumped early and often, I'm actually going to be staying at Circa Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days, 3 nights. Empathy package. I'm in. Sign me up. Where was this when I was going through a divorce? Empathy. I got many things. Empathy, sympathy, not in the top 100. We're talking to Tony Gordon, and I bring this up, Circa Survivor, because we're down to 99 people. Now, Tony Gordon, my guest, is in the final 99. And as a matter of professional courtesy to Tony, I implied or said, hey, I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to bring this up on the show. So with that in mind, let's talk about the Circa Survivor. Dog, are you kidding me? You're in the final 99 for a shot at $14 million. Forget what I said earlier. We're going to talk about this.
I'm trying to fly under the radar, Scott. Come on now, man. So
Too late.
Too late. Yeah, man. You know, what a ride. 99, 14,000 entries. I still know we got a long way to go. So, as fun it is to say I'm one of 99, until I'm the one of one, I think that we got a long way to go. So
how exciting. I mean, have you put any forethought into it if you get within the top 10, 15 to chop it up or chop it up now? Is it too early to be talking about these things?
Yeah, definitely too early now to chop it up. But, I do think that once we get down probably into the 10, 12 range, there's going to be some talk about it. And I'm completely for it. I'm not somebody that's gonna block other people from getting paid. Money means a lot in different ways to different people, and I don't know who's playing with me. And if one of those 100,000 is life changing to them, then let's give it to them. So, this is a fun ride for me. Survivor was never my skill set. Pick 5. That's my skill set. Spread play. So this is the 3rd year I got in Survivor. I hopped in after I won the millions, just as a courtesy to Derek to play some of the contests, throw some of the money back out at him. And I never really took it seriously. This is the first year I've taken Survivor seriously, to be quite honest with you. You know, I went in this year with 2 entries and said, look, let's have a couple strategies too, and just roll with them and let's see where we go. And here we are. So
I love it. I'm so excited for you. 99 people. You are one of 99 out of 14,200 people for a shot at 14 million plus. The thing I will ask you is, during the course of the season, do you have a specific strategy for Survivor? I'm not going to ask you who you're taking this week, because you probably won't know until the spirit moves you to say, play this team. Okay, so we're not going to go there. But respectfully, is there a specific process and or strategy up to this point that you've implemented?
Yeah, I have been focusing on home favorites. Okay, that's where I've been at. Survivor is a whole nother, like I said, skill set. So it's really a feel for the team that you're going to pick. It really is. I'm doing a lot of research, looking into both teams, seeing, every which piece of information I can get. But to be honest with you, all that information does just cloud me. It really just comes down to a gut feel, in my opinion, with Survivor. Any given day, any NFL team can lose. And so it really, if you just don't have the feel for the gut, and the one thing about Survivor, I think that has been the hardest is that once you click that click, you've got to feel comfortable where you're at, and don't second guess yourself at all, win or lose. And I think that's the hardest part of this, is because you can second guess yourself a lot with millions. You can lose and not have a problem with it because you can go on the next day. This particular contest, you are not going to be on the next day if you don't get it right. So, again, once I click that click, I go to bed and go, this is it, win or lose, I'm waking up. That's how it's going to go. And I think that's important probably for everybody that's betting. Once you make that click, whether it be $5, $100, whether it be your life in Survivor, feel comfortable with it. Because if you don't, you're going to second guess yourself every single pick you pick. So
I like what you say, because my friend Chris Piper, who won the Circa Survivor for $6 million, he tied with 4 others, had to split it 5 ways. He net won $1.2 million. But to your point, he said respectfully, he took everything 1 week at a time, like you, an independent critical thinker. I do want to talk something about, I like to ask my guests that are very knowledgeable like yourself, not only with sports betting, but in life. If you could share one life lesson, one concrete message that you've learned that you would share with the world, maybe if your 10-year-old self was sitting right next to you right now, what would you say to him?
This is very easy for me, and I think this can be outlooked in any which way you can, but surround yourself with people smarter than yourself, okay? And by doing that, it's going to make you smarter, it's going to make you better, it's going to make you strive more. If you want to surround yourself with people that are below you, you are going to fall down and below with them. So, as you said, if you're gonna go find yourself playing in the dumpster, you're going to be in the dumpster. So let's surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. They're going to make you smarter, and you're going to succeed.
I like what you say, because Warren Buffett, one of the top 5 richest guys on the planet, to your point, Tony, he says your net worth is related to your net work, consistent with what you're saying. And another thing I was thinking about when you responded with such a great 5-star answer is, I've always said, never take advice from a trailer park manager unless you want to be a trailer park manager.
I love it, Scott. Yep.
So let's talk now. It's time for best bets. A lot of you have been waiting for the best bets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays. Who knows? We don't even know. But on this show, I started giving out my best bet 11 weeks ago. 7 wins, 4 losses. Lost last week with the Ravens, failing on a 2-point conversion against the Steelers, even though they had doubled up in total yardage. Again, thick skin, short memory. We're moving on. First things first, best bets. Tony, who do you like and why?
Yeah, I got a few here. I think I'm going to lean here with this first pick. It's my Chicago Bears. I've been a fan of Chicago Bears since 1985, 9 years old. They won the Super Bowl with the Super Bowl Shuffle, Chicago Bears
46-10
You got
against
it.
the Pats.
You got it. I've been a fan ever since. I'm a California boy, and my teams are the Chicago Bears and the New York Mets. Figure that one out.
I like it. You're
86.
objective.
You right? Okay. So I'm going with the Bears this week. They're 3.5-point underdogs. Listen, this is a team that I think really is struggling on the coaching side. Okay, but this is a team that plays very well at home against this divisional rival Minnesota team. Okay. Minnesota team really struggles when they hit Chicago. It just seems like the field, the wind, over the years, history tends to repeat itself, and Minnesota struggles in Chicago. And when I can get the hook, I'm going to take it. I think this is a 3-point game. I'm getting 3.5. I love it.
What else? Do you have any other plays besides the Bears plus the 3.5?
I'm going to hop on the Harbaugh Bowl. Okay, that's Monday night. We got Jim Harbaugh versus John Harbaugh and the LA Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. I am a big proponent of this Baltimore Raven team. I think they are a very, very strong team. Now, listen, this LA Charger team's, I love them. They're strong. They are overachieving right now, in my opinion. I think that their defense is very much legit, but I do think they're overachieving. I think Baltimore will come in with this team hot and ready to go after their loss last week and take it to this Charger team. And we're getting 2.5 right now, so let's grab that 2.5.
Chicago plus, Baltimore plus, anything else?
Baltimore minus 2.5.
I'm sorry, Baltimore. Yeah. What did I say? Did I say plus?
Plus.
Yeah, Baltimore minus the 2.5. Mm-hmm. The Bears
plus the 3.5.
Plus 3.5.
And I got a total for you. And this is Detroit Indy under 49.5. So I've been doing a lot of research and reading on this, and Shane Steichen, I think the only way he knows he's going to win this game is by controlling the clock. He's got to get that Detroit offense off the field. So I think he's going to run the ball, take some time off this clock, beat it down. It's gonna make it a lower score for us. Detroit, listen, they're on a high right now. Their offense has been, tops in the league. I think this is an opportunity where they're just going to slow it up a little bit, and Indy's going to give them their defense is going to, put a little bit of a halt to it. 49.5 is a big, tall number to get to. So I'm going under 49.5.
Detroit Lions game under 49.5. Baltimore Ravens minus 2.5 against the Chargers. The Bears plus 3.5 against the Vikings. Are we good there?
We're good there.
Okay, great. All right, one thing I want to say to your point about the Chargers, I do know people lie, numbers don't, that the Chargers, to your point, my friend, the Chargers have had a very favorable schedule. I give Harbaugh credit. I give the Chargers credit. You line them up, they knock them down. The Ravens, talent-wise, both sides of the ball, they've underachieved a little bit. They've lost games that they should have won. The concern I have for the Ravens moving forward come playoff time is if they do not win the division, I think they will still steal the division over Pittsburgh. But if they do not, they could be the second best team or the best team in the AFC, but still be a 5 seed and have to win not 1, not 2, but 3 times a lady on the road before even getting to the Super Bowl. So my best bet, 1 play, 1 time, 7 wins, 4 losses in the last 11 weeks on this show. Let's bet Tampa Bay Giants under 41 is readily available. Try to get the 41 in a hook, as that is a key total on the number under 41.5. Tony Gordon, how do people find you as we wrap up the show?
You can find me at Twitter at Derbify. I do a lot of posting on there, so try to follow me on there. That's where you'll find me.
Want to thank you for being a guest. You were amazing. Thank you so much for the transparency, allowing yourself to be a little bit vulnerable. I want to wish you continued good luck in the Circa Survivor, one of only 99 people alive and doing well. You're a 5-star rock star. Give my best to your wife and your son, the outstanding baseball player.
Scott, thank you very much, man. It was a pleasure to be on. And I once again, respect.
Tony Gordon, the 2021 Circa Millions winner, alive and well in the Circa Survivor, only one of 99 contestants out of 14,200 plus. Are you kidding me? To reach out to us on Let's Bet, email us at letsbet@pritchardspicks.com. That's letsbet@pritchardspicks.com. Keep in mind that you can catch me each and every weekend in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, pritchardspicks.com. We broadcast live and worldwide each and every Friday from 1 to 1:30 Las Vegas time. Now, the thing I want you to keep in mind on those best bets, I'm going on memory. Wish me luck. Lions under 49.5. Tony's plays. Also Baltimore minus the 2 and a hook. Dr. Hook, Captain Hook, and the Bears plus 3.5 against the Minnesota Vikings in a divisional contest. My best play, Giants Tampa Bay game under 41 is readily available. If you can catch the 41.5, pounce, get on it early and often. Avoid the risk of being shut out. For Tony Gordon, my guest, I'm Scott Pritchard. Until next weekend, see the cashier.